The referee for tonight's game is the veteran Andy Van Helleman. The linesman Mark Vines and Brian Murphy, and the off-ice officials are from Los Angeles. The goaltending matchups for Game 6 remain the same. Mike Vernon was sharp in Calgary's victory Friday. He's 6-8 lifetime against the Oilers in postseason action. And for Edmonton, Grant Fuhr reaches a milestone with his 100th playoff appearance in a brilliant career, and I'm not sure he's ever been better than in the third period Friday at the Saddledome. The Flames spent a lot of time in the last 48 hours talking about how to beat Grant Fuhr.
Well, when we talked with John Muckler this morning, he said one thing Grant Fuhr will never do is lose a game on you. And we saw that in the third period. The Oilers opened it up, and even though Calgary had some great scoring opportunities, they still had their fair share of opportunities to tie the game up because Fuhr was so good.
As Ron and Don mentioned, the Flames have opened the scoring in all 5 games. Messier on the ice, gives off to Craig Muni. He dumps it into Calgary territory. Matto, Otto, and Fenton up front for Calgary. Musil gives it to Stefan. Matto falls, gets it around the board. Steve Smith moves in. Oilers forechecking. It's McTavish with Buckberger and Messier. McTavish cross ice to Bukaboom. Watched by Matto. Messier to McTavish. The shot, and he couldn't get it through that maze. Smith can't get the shot away. Bukaboom moves up. Clears it behind the goal. McTavish with it again. Early pressure by the Oilers, trying to open the scoring for the first time in the series. Messier takes a bump from Fenton. It's down low to Buckberger. McTavish in front. Fenton can't handle it. Otto takes a swing at it, and the Flames really hemmed in. Here's McTavish, the shot blocked by Fenton. Steve Smith behind the goal. McTavish whacks at it again, and now the Flames start out. Boy, the Oilers in the zone for a minute and 15 seconds before the Flames could finally get it out. Back come the Oilers. Messier to Klima, broke it up. Now turning with it is Ronnie Stern, and he'll clear it in. Jamie McCowan pinching up. Down the ice it goes, and Peter Klima gives chase. Vernon out of the net. Klima around behind the net, swooping after him. He's ridden into the boards. And out with it's Joe Nieuwendyk. He has scored a goal in each of the last 3 games. Gary Roberts has a point in 3 straight games. He clears it in. Ronnie Stern is forechecking. Now the Flames going to the Oilers. Natras moves up. Esa Tikkanen ties up Nieuwendyk. Roberts is bumped by McIver. And Tikkanen has it. He leads all goal scorers in this series with 4. He's dragged down by Nieuwendyk, and the Flames send it over the glass and out of play. 2 minutes, 17 seconds gone.
Well, we have identical lineups to what we saw 2 nights ago. Calgary with Makarov, McLellan, Priakin, Kevin Guy, Roger Johansson, and Colin Patterson. The knee injury has not played a game this year. And for the Oilers, no injuries to report. Joseph Linsman, Semenov, and Jeff Smith. John Muckler talked about the Oilers having to get more physical. They left that a bit in the last game. Mark Lamb making sure that he takes the coach's remarks to heart. Watch the retaliation. Stern gets the stick up. Lamb looks around to Andy Van Helleman. And Stern keeps on going. But John Muckler, Chris, when we talked with him this morning, said he was surprised the Oilers had any hits at all. He saw a real drop-off in that in the last game. Obviously, by the play we've seen in the first period, they're going to change that tonight.
He also complained about the high stick work of Ronnie Stern and says a tape of the high stick on Jeff Bukaboom has gone to the NHL Vice President Brian O'Neill. Kevin Lowe at center. Anderson, Messier, and Craig Simpson up front for the Oilers. Gary Suter behind his goal. Aaron Fleury still looking for his first goal in this series. Checked up. And it was almost a break for Messier in behind the play. Smith cross ice to Anderson. He clears it back in, and Jim Kite +1 in the series. Feeds it ahead to Fleury. Theron Fleury at center, watched by Anderson. Smith is bumped on the play. Comes across, Musil chases after it, bumps Anderson, and now Bukaboom has it. Up ahead to Craig Simpson and Mark Messier. Messier with 7 points in the series. Craig Musil. Lead pass slides down into the Oilers zone. Smith back to touch it, and icing is the call.
Well, Doug Risebrough has neglected to put his past lucky suit on. Instead, he has his lucky tie going this evening, and a number of different things that any team does during the playoffs. This poor fella is a little bit out of season, but I like his spirit. I don't know that the Flames are into the spirit of giving tonight. Time will tell.
Santa may be in the building, but I wouldn't expect any gifts on either side tonight. Dave Brown in the corner, Joe Nieuwendyk out there for Calgary. The Oilers feel that Nieuwendyk has been the best player on the Flames in this series. I don't think Calgary would argue with that. Tim Hunter, the veteran Flame, chops it, kept in by Smith. Dave Brown's open, the backhand, and it was blocked. Brown took a long time to get the shot away. Trying to get it back, he does. McTavish, Buckberger shot right on. And Vernon makes his first big stop of the game. Harry Wilson, a 2-goal scorer in Game 5, lost his balance. Tim Hunter wraps up Brown, and the puck is cleared out to center.
Well, Mike Vernon already seeing a fair amount of traffic in front of him. Kelly Buckberger driving to the net. A couple of missed opportunities by the Flames to clear. That's something they can't afford to do very often with the Edmonton Oilers.
Joe Murphy moves inside the line, and he just shot it wide. He had some room on that glove side. Now the Flames start back. Robert Reichel hits the line. Trailing Reichel is Roberts. Roberts is bumped by Graves, and Charlie Huddy has it. Charlie Huddy starts back with Murphy. Murphy and Jelena. Vernon out of the goal, and he clears it to center. Here's a breakaway for Gary Roberts, but he's offside. And Roberts touches the puck, and it's called on the 2-line pass.
Well, right in front of the Oiler bench, McIver went down with, I believe, Nieuwendyk. And there wasn't an Oiler fan in the building that didn't feel that a penalty should have been called. Mike Vernon has faced a couple of great shots already. And he has had to be sharp. A couple of giveaways by the Flames and failing to clear it 2 or 3 times. Look at a good play by McTavish here over to Buckberger, and Buckberger wastes no time. Not only did he get the shot away, but he went straight into Vernon. Watch Murphy go from right to left and shoot where Mike Vernon was. Vernon moving across the crease. Murphy with a good shot going back to the other side. If that puck's on the net, the Oilers are up by 1.
You saw Mike Vernon making his 69th appearance. He's 38-28 in playoff action. Flames send it down. Benton, Otto, and Matteau on the ice. Al McInnes. A couple of goals in the series. Gets it across to Matteau. For Musil, and Matteau takes it back again. Stefan Matteau with Otto in front. Bukovic watching Matteau. They bump against the boards. Matteau tries to dig it free. Fenton working hard, but he's tied up by Messier, and now it's Smith ahead to Anderson. Hit at the line. Out at center, it's Craig Simpson. Messier on the move, but he crissed, and the puck was crossed, and they got crossed up. Icing the call against the Flames. 14:28 left in the first period. Still no score at the Coliseum.
Well, Chris, you had a conversation with John Muckler this morning. He was defending his position that he's 55 years old. The media guide says he's 57 years old.
And he celebrated a birthday yesterday. I asked him for some proof of age, and he wouldn't give it to me. There's Neil Young, whose hit song Old Man a few years ago might be applicable here. Just kidding, John. Neil Young in concert here at the Coliseum. McCowan up ahead to Doug Gilmour. Theron Fleury at the line. Fleury with the shot at block. Rebound, and he just shot it wide. Good chance for number 14 looking for his first goal. Ranheim back in center. Watched by Klima. Clears it into the Edmonton zone. Just missed a big hit from Mark Lamb.
Andy Van Helmen has let go a couple of calls that could have been penalties. He's letting these teams play, and we'll see if that erupts into anything more serious as the game wears on.
Muni behind the goal. Not known as a great puck carrier, but he gets it up to center. Klima dumps it in. Klima had that 10-minute misconduct in Game 5, which took away his effectiveness. Reichel at center just leaves it there. Norm McIver, +5 in the series. He leads all players in the plus-minus department. Gets it across to Buckberger. Buckberger bumped by Jamie McCowan. And the puck cleared down the ice by Natras, right on goal. Dave Brown can't clear it. Hunter back in, right on Fuhr. He dumps it off for McIver. McIver belted by Reichel. Buckberger off the glass on the other side. And there's Dave Brown, who's twice been on teams that have squandered 3-1 leads and lost series. Once with the Oilers against the Kings earlier. It was with Philadelphia when the Capitals came back a couple of years ago. Brown trying to jam it in, and Vernon cut him off. Comes free. Charlie Huddy trying to knock it down. He's taken to the boards. It's right at the blue line, and now the Flames get it out. Offside the call as McTavish knocks it back in, and a little pushing there with Tim Hunter involved.
Well, Mark Lamb has been one of the more aggressive Oilers tonight. A couple of great body checks, and you can see the crack in his helmet. Lamb taking out Paul Ranheim. Ranheim just seeing him in time. And Lamb right back up and into the play. Chris, in 6:05 starts, Calgary is 14-2-1. The Oilers are 6-9-1. So we can start coming up with all kinds of fancy stats and see if it makes any difference when this game is all said and done.
Yeah, but the Oilers are 11-6 on Sundays, so that might negate that stat. I bet you nobody on the ice knows either one of those stats.
And what's more important, neither of them or any of them care.
Steve Smith at his own line. He's watched. They start to hit each other a bit. Smith trying to get away from Gary Roberts, bumped by Nieuwendyk. Roberts is knocked down by Graves. And Graves continues after Roberts. And finally, the Oilers get possession. It's Murphy turning with it. Inside the zone now, dumps it off, and it goes right to Vernon, who holds on with Jelena in the goal crease.
Gary Roberts taking a couple of blows from Adam Graves. Earlier, Adam Graves had hit him real good in the corner. Roberts a factor in the game 2 nights ago and in the previous 3. So the Oilers wanting to make sure that they're hard on Gary Roberts whenever they can be.
Anderson's pass came outside the line, and Messier turns with it, looking for Anderson. Broken up by McCowan. And it goes for Fenton, checked by Muni. Simpson is hit. McCowan moving in, but Simpson checks him. Otto behind the goal. Matteau in the near corner. Messier and Muni hit him. Fenton behind the goal. Matteau gets up, picks it free. Simpson watching him. Fenton now out in front, the shot. Rebound, Fuhr down. Puck was loose in the goal crease, but Grant Fuhr covers up.
Well, the Oilers with only 2 shots against so far this evening, but Grant Fuhr has had to be sharp. Look at that shot there and in close, and the puck off a couple of feet. So just because Fuhr isn't facing a shot, he still has to be alert to nab that puck whenever it gets close to him. He did that, and there's a face-off to his right.
Grant Fuhr's save percentage in this series, .911. 34 saves in Game 5. Lamb against Gilmore on this face-off. And it's finally dropped in. And Esa Tikkanen went to cover the point and found the loose puck. He drills it over the glass, off of Natras, and into the crowd.
Well, a good job by the Flames to win that face-off, but a better job by Tikkanen to sneak out and pick up the puck going back to the point. Grant Fuhr with an unbelievable series and a career so far to match. Absolutely amazing in playoffs what this guy has done. You've got somebody like this playing behind you. You can take all kinds of chances. Read him for yourself. The pressure is on. Grant Fuhr is at his very best. I just love listening to Grant Fuhr interviews after games. It's like everything's done, and let's get on to the next one. Real clip. I find it quite entertaining to hear his thoughts when the hockey game is over.
What really amazed the Flames about his performance in Game 5 was that glove hand of his, and I wonder if that'll affect how they try to shoot on him tonight.
Well, I talked with Glenn Hall, the Flames goalie coach, and he's sure that Fuhr has some kind of a puck magnet in his glove. The way he grabs it, he said he's never seen anybody with a glove that good.
There it is, off of Robert Reichel. We mentioned Grant with 100 playoff appearances. Billy Smith leads everyone in Stanley Cup history with 132. Gary Roberts in the thick of things again. Glenn Hall, the goaltending consultant for the Flames, is next, 115. Then Jacques Blond and Ken Dryden at 112. Terry Sawchuk at 106. So Grant Fuhr is certainly in great company.
I wonder where John Garrett is.
He's about the same level as you are in the overall scoring race.
How about Glenn Hall's one stat of 504 consecutive games for a goalie? There's Glenn Hall to the right of Cliff Fletcher. You can see him either on your screen or on the screen to the right of Glenn, and you must have heard us as he leaned forward. But 504 consecutive games. You talk about an Iron Man. That's an Iron Man, and a lot of those playing without a mask.
Messier from the faceoff. Another Iron Man out on the ice right now. Craig McTavish playing in his 511th consecutive game, regular season and playoffs. Asked Craig when his last injury was, he couldn't remember. It was over 5 years ago. Roberts gets it ahead. Bukabuma pinched in and outbreak the Flames. Ron Stern with Gary Suter, 2-on-1. Suter in, and the shot was blocked by Steve Smith, who defended beautifully.
Ron Stern and Gary Suter with a 2-on-1 from the red line. Look at Stern, he takes a peek. He probably should have shot. Suter gets a little bit too far in. And Smith, who takes away the pass and then decides to help with a blocked shot as well, played that 2-on-1 just about as perfectly as any defenseman could. And with the length of his stick, he has a good opportunity to intercept those passes. You want to, as a defenseman, either take the pass or the shot. In that case, he did both.
From the face-off, Norm McIver with it for Huddy, who has some trouble. Now gives off to Lamb. Lamb, Klima, and Tikkanen matched up against Gilmore, Ranheim, and Fleury. As we approach the midway mark of the first period, still no score. Flames have opened the scoring in each of the games in this series. Klima watched carefully by Gilmore, and McInnes will turn with it. Al very relaxed before the game, enjoying that great finish at the Masters. Ranheim inside the line. His shot goes high. Huddy up with it. Stolen by Gilmore, and McIver was backing up Huddy well. Tikkanen flips it into the Flame zone. The Oilers will make a line change. Plenty of room at center ice for Perry Wilson. Working against Muni. Down goes Wilson. Murphy. He's hit by Fleury. Graves takes a run at Wilson. And Joe Murphy comes up with it. 2 series-winning goals a year ago. Here's Joe Murphy. Centering it in front, and Jelena tipped it out of the air, but wide. Adam Graves. Watched by Hunter. Free for Jelena. He clears to the corner. Murphy after it against Pike, and now Gary Suter. He's watched by Jelena. Ahead it goes to Wilson, and he just missed the pass. Smith at center for Murphy. Graves is held up by Suter. At the blue line, Graves can't get loose. Smith takes a look and now rolls it in. 8:40 to go, first period. Still no score. Just 7 shots in the game, 5 by the Flames. And here's Wilson, called on the 2-line pass as he was breaking with Robert Reichel.
Stefan Matteau's with a different line tonight, playing a bit with Joel Otto. Tikkanen, who hasn't apparently had an assignment to look after Theoren Fleury, has certainly run into him more than his fair share of times. Take a look at the action along the boards. Tikkanen and Fleury. Fleury trying to get a good run at Tikkanen. He does that. Tikkanen just manages to get out of the way. What's Tikkanen going to do after he gets up? Oh, a bit of a jab, and Andy Van Helmen looking to his left, and this one on to the right. I think a little bit of acting on that particular play. Van Helmen didn't pay any attention as the game went on.
I think Theo saw those theatrical masks we had in the opening.
Stefan Matteau on his way to the dressing room with a slight hobble. Either his leg's sore or he's got a rock in his skate. I don't think you can get gravel out of this ice surface.
From the face-off, Oilers control it. Otto knocked down that pass in front. Jamie McCowan has trouble, and Messier's watching him. Otto. Huddy moved up, but the puck is cleared out to center ice, and here's Joe Nieuwendyk working in. There's the shot, and he whipped it just wide. Natras moves up. Anderson blocked that. Nieuwendyk has it again. 23 shots on goal in the series, 9 in Game 5. Simpson ahead to Anderson for the Oilers. 3 Oilers hit the line, and Simpson trying to slide it through for Messier. Simpson again, scores!
Well, what a second effort by Craig Simpson. Kind of a broken play. You see Rick Natras come over, and then Simpson comes in and keeps on skating all the way to the net. Vernon a little bit maybe too much to his right, but a great individual effort by Simpson. And even as he's falling, watch how he has his eye on the net. Natras stretching out, and his poke check was just a tad short. A great play to go to the net and to finish the playoff by Craig Simpson. And that's the first time in 6 games that the Edmonton Oilers have opened the scoring in this series.
Craig Simpson led all goal scorers a year ago in the Stanley Cup Derby with 16. He has his second of these playoffs from Anderson at 12-13. And the Oilers with a 1-goal lead. Here's Doug Gilmour back for the Flames offside. On the left wing was Theoren Fleury. Jim, does that put any extra pressure on the Flames at this time? It's the Oilers that strike first, and they, of course, lead the series 3-2.
Well, if past history is any indication, the Oilers seem to always jump out ahead of the Flames, and it was rather surprising to me that Calgary was scoring first in this series. It certainly isn't something that the Flames haven't had some experience in battling back, so even though it is the first time this series, I don't know that that will have a great effect on the outcome of the game.
Don Cherry has talked about the Flames' defense in this series, and that time Craig Simpson victimized them. John Buckler wasn't happy with his team's performance in Game 5, said we didn't hit anybody and tried to win it the easy way. Well, they're off to a better start tonight.
Well, if you look at the start, since the start of the game, Mark Messier has not only been playing with Simpson and Anderson, but also double shifting with McTavish and Buckberger, so he's logging his fair share of ice.
Ron Stern at center for Nieuwendyk. He's been flying. And a good defensive play by Kelly Buckberger, who is taken to the boards by Stern. Smith up with it. 7:14 to go, first period. Smith met by Roberts, and they try to knock him into the Flames bench. McTavish off balance, cross ice. Smith moves in. There's Buckberger in the corner, and he's hit by Gilmour. Is dug loose by Stern, knocked right down by McTavish. Gilmour will try it. Murphy is forechecking. Now, out they come. Suter ahead to Stern. Ron Stern, long shot right off. Bjork clears to the corner. Jelena gives it away. Fleury keeps it in. There's a pass. Roberts knocked down. Can't get a shot away. Back up ice it comes for Murphy. Joe Murphy with great speed. Murphy ridden out by Natras. There's a big hit. Fleury on Jelena. Graves to Jelena behind the net. Murphy's in front. Jelena watched by Suter. Joe Murphy now helping out. He dumps it back behind the goal. Natras has Graves tied up. Gary Roberts back in the play. Down at the other end, Roberts had made some gestures at goaltender Grant Fuhr. Fleury a big hit on Muni. And now Kevin Lowe. Off the boards, Kerry Wilson with the steal at center. He is bumped by Anderson. Robert Reichel. Off the bench comes Paul Fenton. He clears it back in. 45 seconds to go, first period. 1-0 the Oilers on Craig Simpson's second of the series. Benton chops at it, and Norm McIver takes over. Off the board, Simpson belted by Natras, and Natras is down. Here's Messier, across Anderson, the shot went wide. Messier again, Natras is still down. Benton up with it. Natras now getting to his feet as the Flames come back. Reichel over the line by himself. The Flames on a line change, and McIver chased him back outside the line. Messier at center against Reichel, and Roberts takes Messier to the boards. Anderson looks for a loose puck, but McCowan saves it for Calgary. Here's Gary Roberts with Stern. Drop pass, McInnes called on the offside. Hard to hear the whistles here at the Coliseum.
Well, Rick Natras, I'm not exactly sure what he hit. I thought he did a great job in timing that hip check. He went to the bench, and he seems to be all right now. Got something in the head. He may have even hit his head on the boards when he bent over to lay the hip check on Craig Simpson.
Looked like Simpson was going to get the worst of that. Fuhr had trouble with that long shot by Al McInnes that may have turned over, and Nieuwendyk knocks the net ajar, and we get a face-off in the Edmonton zone. Just a quick thought about Minnesota. Heard Brian Propp talking about the first 10 minutes of that game in Minnesota tonight. Well, obviously the North Stars have survived the first 10 minutes in great style.
Take a look at at this last shot by McInnes. The puck is sitting right on its edge. McInnes hits the ice before he hits the puck, and you get the effect of almost a knuckleball with those two things coming into play. Fjord getting in front of it and managing to control the rebound. I talked with Stuart Gavin a couple of days ago, and he said, geez, I think that we got a great chance. The one game that they had lost, he was concerned that the team might not regroup. He said, technically, they've been real solid. They just got flustered. In fact, they have come back very impressively. So the Hawks now have some real work to fight back from a 2-0 deficit.
I don't think many people expected Bob Gainey could earn a quicker trip into the divisional finals than his old teammate Doug Risebrough. Great job Gainey's done in Minnesota. Here we're 4:18 left, first period. McTavish is on the move with Dave Brown. 1-0 Oilers. Simpson from Anderson. That was the scoring play at 12:13. Brown behind the goal. Comes out in front. Shot, and Vernon made the save. Brown again. Great kick save by Vernon. Dave Brown with 2 scoring chances. And now the first penalty of the game, and Musil and McTavish are having words.
I believe Jim Kite has been assessed a holding penalty, and there's been a great opportunity, a number of them on both sides, to call other penalties. This is the first one. Well, Frank Musil takes a 2-minute holding penalty, not Jim Kite. Musil in front of the net with Craig McTavish, and the Oilers will have an opportunity on the power play once again. It will be their 26th of the series, and of the 25 they've had thus far, they've counted on 4 of them.
As you can see, they clicked on 33 1/3% in Game 5.
That's a pretty quick calculation, Chris.
That's why I bring my calculator up. Messier against Otto on the faceoff. Otto and Wilson, the penalty killers. McIver into the corner for Anderson. Puts it in front, but it's stopped by Suter and cleared down the ice. Oilers came into this playoff year with the 3rd worst specialty teams amongst the playoff teams. Only Vancouver and Detroit were worse on the power play, but the Oilers starting to get it going now. Simpson to Anderson. Just missed on that pass. Suter knocks it away. McInnes up with it, and he'll drill it down the ice, and that's another bouncing puck that Pierre has to handle.
Well, I tend to agree with Mark Messier's assessment. He says we may not always score the most goals in the power play, but we sure seem to get them when we need them. We'd rather have the big one when it's necessary than 5 when it's not.
Messier skipped morning practice. Now gives off to Simpson. Anderson behind the goal. Back it comes to McIver. Joe Murphy. Andrus tied up by Simpson and belted, and they'll get a whistle. 1:02 to go in the Musil minor penalty. On the faceoff, Oilers control. Smith is knocked down, but Messier's there. Into the corner for Murphy, watched by Suter. Now Otto wraps it along the board, kept in by Tikkanen. Messier. Cross ice he goes, Peter Klima. Back across to Murphy, and he wasn't in a shooting position. Messier. Tikkanen fires, blocked by Wilson. And Wilson dumps it outside the line, but gave it right to Messier. Now here's Klima. Coming in, tried the fancy play, and McInnes would have none of it. Otto clears it out, past Tikkanen down the ice. 24 seconds left in the man advantage. Tikkanen ahead to Klima with room. In the middle for Lamb, and that was broken up. Smith to Anderson. Anderson ahead for Lamb. He deflects it into the zone, and Lamb, with a good head of speed, goes after it. McCowan cuts him off. And once again, the Flames clear it. Smith lets it go, and that will do it for the penalty as Frank Musil returns to the ice.
Well, Calgary keeping it very simple on that penalty-killing display. When they had the opportunity, they got it down the ice. They made the Oilers execute perfectly, or ended up outside their blue line. I've never seen a gorilla wear glasses before. All right. There's actually quite a large cheering section right up at the top in section F for the Calgary Flames. They were making some noise a little bit earlier, and because they're slightly outnumbered, they're also out-noised.
Right for the face-off, Huddy with the shot on goal, and Mike Vernon handles it easily.
Looking at Glenn Sather. He's got to be happy that his team has scored the first goal. Barry Fraser behind him, and the Oilers have built the team a little bit differently than the Calgary Flames, more recently from trades than from drafts. and free agent signings. Quite a difference in the two philosophies over the last 5 or 6 years.
I'd say they've done it successfully a few ways. Of course, there's a puck out in front kicked away by Vernon. The initial Stanley Cup years in Edmonton were done via the draft, and lately he's managed to reload with trades and free agent signing. Tikkanen at center, clears it in. Murphy goes after him. He's bumped by Nieuwendyk. You see him. It's Adam Graves, and Nieuwendyk will wind up. Joe Nieuwendyk past Tikkanen, hauled down by Tikkanen, and a penalty coming up against the Oilers forward. Nieuwendyk with that good speed, forcing the penalty.
Well, Calgary first overall in the power play department in the regular season. They dropped off in a couple of games in this series, but they do have 4 goals for 25 opportunities. That puts them 9th overall. Excuse me, 5 goals out of 25 opportunities. Nieuwendyk going down because he keeps his feet moving. Tikkanen letting his stick go, trying to plead his case. Van Helmond would have none of it with 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the first period. Calgary gets their first power play opportunity of the game.
We'd like to welcome viewers of Sports Channel America to the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. Chris Cuthbert along with Jim Poplinski. It's 1-0. The Oilers leading on a goal by Craig Simpson. Glenn Anderson with the assist at 12-13, but now the Flames looking for the equalizer as they go on the power play. Otto, Gilmore, Wilson, Suter, and McKinnon. Penalty killers McTavish and Lamb as the Flames clear it in with under a minute to go in the period. And it's quickly sent down the ice by Jeff Bookaboo.
You know, one of the things that has improved penalty killing in the league over the years is the introduction of video. So many teams tape other teams' power plays that they get a real good idea of what the options are, and they have a better opportunity to defense against it.
Gilmore against the boards, comes back to Suter. Now Gilmore again as the Flames set it up. Suter, his shot blocked by Lamb. McInnes will have a try. Gary Suter, Wilson on the move. Otto parked in front. They're trying to get more traffic in front of Grant Fuhr in game 5. 16 seconds to go in the period. McInnes to Suter. Trying to get a shot directed at that goal. There it goes through, but the traffic is too heavy. And it's blocked out at center with 5 seconds to go. Suter may have a chance for one shot. He dumps it into the corner, and that will do it for the first period. For the first time in the series, the Edmonton Oilers score first, and they have the lead. Calgary Flames have lost their last 4 playoff encounters, and they must end that streak here tonight.
The last time Calgary won a playoff game on the road was in 1986
Game 7.
Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We were talking at the same time. I thought we were both going to be right.
Last one here was 86, Game 7. They've added an assist to Charlie Huddy on the Craig Simpson goal as we start period number 2. McTavish inside the line with Craig Lamb. 27 seconds remaining on a Calgary power play. As Esa Tikkanen's in the penalty box, and look at McTavish kill the clock. Great job.
Well, McTavish taking his time when he was down in the corner.
Messier with the steal. This could be a chance, and he drilled that shot wide.
Messier looked to the far corner and went high on Vernon, hoping that if he missed the net, he might catch Vernon, but he was a tad wide.
And the penalty has expired. Tikkanen back on the ice, and the Flames really didn't even have it down in Edmonton territory for the 45 seconds of power play time. Charlie Huddy off the boards ahead to Messier. He backhands it into the zone. Vernon around the boards. Past Anderson. Kept in at the point. No, it wasn't. Muni brings it in offside.
Well, Theoren Fleury led the hits category for the Calgary Flames in that particular period. He had 4 of the 27, and when you listen to the coaches, they suggest that maybe Fleury is wasting a lot of his energy and taking the body all the time. I look at it and I think, geez, that's the way the guy has played. That's the way he's been successful. It's pretty difficult to have somebody change their game style when the playoffs roll around, but Theoren Fleury with a fair amount of padding to protect himself in this series, and the Oilers, to a man, have made sure that every time they had an opportunity to take him out of the play, they have, and that's why he's been kept off the goal-scoring scoreboard.
Minute 15 gone, second period, and a 1-0 Oiler lead. Simpson from Anderson and Huddy at 12-13 of the first period. Charlie Huddy just missed that pass, and now Natras sends it ahead. Greg Muni off the boards ahead to Messier. Cross ice it goes to Anderson. Messier follows up. He's tied up by Benton, and Jamie McCowan starts back for the Flames. McCowan with Otto. Trying to pass it through, and Charlie Huddy cuts it off. Sends it ahead, and there's Messier. Natras banks it back in, and the Flames make a wholesale change. Muni, forecheck by Gilmore. It comes ahead to Messier. Over the line with Anderson. Messier, wrist shot, he just put it wide. That one didn't miss by much. Gilmore turns back the other way. Doug Gilmore drops for Suter. The shot kicked aside by Fuhrer. Gilmore goes after it. Ridden into the boards by Smith. Simpson digs it free. Jeff Bukavu into the center ice zone for Lamb. Watched by Kite. They get their sticks up. Suter put it right into Kite and Lamb. Goes back to get it, and now feeds ahead to Ranheim. Pass it center. Broken up by Smith.
Calgary starting the game differently than they did their last time up here. They were much sharper at the first, and then they tailed off. The looks of things, they're hoping that they get sharper.
Tikkanen just missed Lamb with a pass in the slot. Suter sends away Fleury. 2-on-2 with Ranheim. Suter trailing, the shot right on. Rebound, and Suter took a whack at it. Fleury with it again, puts it in front. Bukavu's there, ahead to Tikkanen, 2-on-2 with Joe Murphy. Esa Tikkanen drops the pass. There's the shot that goes well wide. Huddy moves inside the line. He's hit by Gilmore. Ranheim to Fleury. Chased back by another 14, McTavish. Norm McIver hit by Fleury, but gets it in. Vernon plays it around the boards. Huddy's there for the Oilers. Cleared outside the line, and McIver has it. Golfing buddy of Brett Hull's in the offseason. They were teammates at the University of Minnesota Duluth. Dave Brown behind the goal. Here's that line that's caused a lot of trouble for the Flames in the game so far. But out comes Calgary. Tim Hunter at the line. Trying to get past McIver. Big size difference there. Wilson in to help out. Hunter reaches for it. Huddy tied up by Wilson, but he gets it ahead. McTavish at center with Buchberger on his left. Drops it for Buchberger, the shot, and it went wide. Bukavu keeps it in. Behind the net for Buchberger. Tries to sweep out in front, and the puck slides wide of the goal. Al McInnes with 4 minutes and 15 seconds gone. Second period. There's the shot right on. Steve Smith for the Oilers. Good pace in the second period. Buchberger sends it ahead. McCowan's pass intercepted by Murphy, but offside is the call. 15:32 left, second period. 1-0 Oilers. On a Craig Simpson goal. Mark Lamb inside the line, and he's offside.
Well, Calgary looking a little bit flustered in this first almost 25 minutes of play. The Oilers playing with more poise and composure, starting it off with some real solid forechecking and some good body checks. Chris, you mentioned the Buchberger line, the shift before Tikkanen's line got out. Buchberger, Brown, and McTavish again had good pressure down in the Flames' end. It's nice when you have a third line that generally gets considered to be a checking line to generate those types of offensive chances.
Calgary lost in 6 on the road last year in the first round, but the Oilers have gone 7 in the first round the last 2 years. One of those streaks will continue to hit. Gilmore just missed Smith with a hit. Wilson keeps it in at the point. Puts it in front. Ranheim had a top on him. Gilmore tied up by Smith, but now goes to the corner, trying to dig it free against Bukavu. Gilmore forechecking, and now Mark Lamb. Former Calgary Flame, Mark Lamb. Hands it to Tikkanen, and now Bukavu. Smith ahead to Lamb at center. Met by McCowan. Here's Klima inside the line. And it was offside. Well, there's greats on the all-time playoff point list, aren't there? Gretzky on top with 294, Messier 206, Curry a former Oiler, Glenn Anderson in 5th spot.
I can't believe.
We're not sure where.
I can't believe that there's such a gap between 5th and 6th spot. I don't think that was a question mark. It was a 6.
Yeah, I think you're in the top 10.
Thanks, buddy.
Right up there with those Oiler greats, Mark Messier, who is second overall, and Glenn Anderson needs one more for 175 in his distinguished Stanley Cup playoff career. Here's Dave Brown. There's a shot by Buckberger, blocked. I think you're tied with Brown in the playoff points.
Whoa.
Buckberger, watched by Nieuwendyk. Drops it off, McTavish after it. McKinnon knocks it along the boards. Ron Stern, head to Roberts. Nieuwendyk catching up. Here's a 2-on-2, and Buckberger's back. Nieuwendyk with the shot, and a great defensive play by Munich. Nieuwendyk again, tried to feed the point, and McTavish broke it up.
Craig McTavish using what makes him so valuable as a penalty killer.
Here's Dave Brown again, backhand right on, and Mike Vernon makes the save. Third shot on goal, and scoring chance of the game for big number 32.
Well, Brown, Buckberger, and McTavish getting thrown out after only one line change in between, and responding well. Dave Brown going to the net, not with a forehand, but with a backhand. He gets the shot away and then finishes it off, and Ron Stern puts his stick and gloves in the puss of Dave Brown, and Brown showing some restraint, did not retaliate. See, I got him. He only had 4 points. I got him by 42.
Yeah, but he's still playing.
That's a low blow.
Messier and Otto. I cleared down the ice. What I meant is he still has some games to catch up to.
Yeah, that's good point. I just didn't think it was that old.
McCowan with it. He's hit by Anderson, who got his stick up. Here's a centering pass, and Fenton shot that 10 feet wide. Natras puts it back in again at the side of the net. Jamie McCowan moves up against Anderson. Behind the goal, it's Fenton sweeping around, and that just went by McCowan. Messier starts back for the Oilers. Messier with Anderson. Simpson's loose on the wing as well. Pass missed Simpson. Fenton hits Simpson. There's Steve Smith with a shot just wide, and Mike Vernon hangs on, and both teams we're seeing are having their defensemen move up in the play and take some chances. Approaching the midway point of the second period.
Well, a number of fans still wearing their hats they received in Game 3 in Edmonton. Some have obviously forgotten them, but people correspondingly wearing white clothing to come up with that white caps that Ron McLean has talked about a number of times.
Nieuwendyk at center, clears it in on Fuhr. Charlie Huddy back against Gilmore. Gilmore, Fleury, and Ranheim. Out comes Esa-Tikkanen with Peter Klima, and he couldn't put on the brakes. Klima offside. He tried to slow up and drag the foot, but no such luck.
Well, Peter Klima a little lazy on that play. I have yet to see dragging your leg keep you onside. Klima, a fair piece ahead. And the extra 6 inches you get from your leg back is not quite enough when you've got 4 feet on your teammate carrying the puck. But Klima, some great speed, hoping that he was onside. That didn't materialize.
The white caps you were talking about?
They're sprinkled all over this Coliseum, and this crowd has really been boisterous. They gave the Oilers a standing ovation at the start of the game, and just like in Calgary and giving the Flames a boost, I think the crowd for the Oilers tonight has done the same thing for their home team.
Al McInnes with it, and that pass went astray. Vernon now sends it ahead to Ranheim. In the middle it goes, Stefan Matteau. He's watched by Lamb. Klima has Matteau tied up. Lamb turns. Tikkanen was loose at the line, and it's offside as Esa-Tikkanen tried to sneak in behind that Calgary defense again. 12 minutes, 34 seconds left, second period. And here's Mark Messier scooting after the puck. Vernon has to come out of the net. Kept the shot down. I thought he put it over the glass. That would have been a penalty, but Vernon off the glass and down the ice. McInnes trying to center. Oh, he blasted the shot off the shoulder of Fuhr and over the net. I wonder if Al really thought he could score from there, or whether he wanted to just send Grant Fuhr a message.
Well, Al McNeil is a great believer of if you have a terrible angle, you get the puck up around the goalie's shoulder and collarbone, and it makes him stand up a bit. McInnes doesn't have a great angle. Take a look at how fast this rises and how hard it's going. Fuhr takes it right off the shoulder. And that makes you think the next time McInnes winds up, you've got a great shot, you look for the edge, and that can soften goaltender up for the rest of your players. If Calgary wants to be successful, they have to soften Fuhr up, because he has been absolutely unbelievable. And so far this game, he's been unbeatable.
Al MacInnis, 103 points on the season. 4th in shots during the year, but in this playoff series, he has just 3 points, and he is 5th in the series in shots on goal. So the Oilers have neutralized him as best as they could so far. Back in front, Otto is knocked out as Messier chops the puck away. Now Joe Murphy. Back to Huddy. And Huddy off the boards out to center. Messier was cruising there and almost picked Frank Museal's pocket. MacInnis to Otto.
Al MacInnis improved his shot total. Set a record last year with 304 shots. This year, 305. That's consistency for shots on net.
MacInnis takes his man out. Reichel is bumped by Messier or Graves. Graves with a shot hit the side of the net. Jelena now. Back to the point to McIver. McIver hit Murphy with it, gets it back again, now passes to Murphy. Blocked by MacInnis, and the Flames turn it over. Reichel in the middle to Wilson, and he is hit by Jelena. Otto follows up. And Jelena comes back after the hit and steals the puck. Martin Jelena. Charlie Huddy. Gray to Jelena. Jelena with Peter Klima, but Gary Suter chopped it away. Look at Jelena play a good hard-nosed shift. Doug Gilmour back with Fleury and Ranheim. Theron Fleury with room. Fleury in, and another great save. Rebound. Downs Fuhr, they score. Ranheim.
Well, Grant Fuhr making the initial saves, and as the Flames have seen, if they want to be successful on number 31, they've got to get more than one shot. Theron Fleury, watch the interference that's run right there. Fleury enabled himself to get right across. Gilmour running the interference, and Suter a hair late. But Paul Ranheim right on top of things. And look at Jim Kite as well in the Oilers crease. Calgary throwing everything they had at the Oilers in order to tie this one up. We've got a 1-1 game. Calgary being outchanced, but with a little bit of luck, the game is tied at 1.
Second of the playoffs for Paul Ranheim. Gary Suter and Theron Fleury get the assists at 9-12, and this one is tied at 1. Vernon out of the net. Lead pass for Gilmour, hopped over his stick right on Fuhr. Up to Smith. Fleury up Smith. Deacon into the middle of the Lamb. Lamb hit by McCowan. Lamb knocks down Natras though. McCowan around the board. Gilmour up with it. Cross ice, and Gilmour takes a bump from Lamb. 1-1 as we approach the midway point of this game. Natras. Smith for the Oilers, and it hopped over Fleury's stick, and now Roberts turns. He can't handle it. Lamb starts back. Lamb tied up by Roberts, and it's called on the offside. 9:58 to go in this period, and let's take another look at the goal that has us tied at 1.
Well, Graves talked about Andy Van Helmen letting the teams play. There's no question that's what he's doing. Look at Fleury, and a guy that doesn't get mentioned in the goal, Doug Gilmour, did a lot of the work. A good defensive play by Klima, but Paul Ranheim parked on the doorstep, and it took him 2 or 3 whacks on it still, even with Grant Fuhr on his side. Look at Ranheim comes in. What a great leg save. Ranheim's left all alone, and 1 and 2. And it slips underneath Fuhr. Fuhr almost had that puck. Ranheim, as you mentioned, Chris, with the second goal of the game, of the series rather, tying this game at 1.
Frank Muni back into his own zone. It's Nieuwendyk, Stern, and Roberts for the Flames. Mark Messier with some speed moves in, shoots, and a big stop by Vernon with the glove hand. And that's as hard as we've seen Messier shoot the puck in this series.
Well, Mark Messier gets by Ronnie Stern, and look at him lean into this baby. The puck is fluttering. Vernon has to come up with a perfect save, and as Messier goes past Vernon and behind the net, he looked back. He was surprised that Vernon got the glove on that. It was a perfectly positioned shot with some real mustard on it, and if you thought that Mark Messier's hand was bothering him when he shot, he just proved that it didn't really matter how it felt. He's going to get the wood on the puck and get a good shot away.
Nieuwendyk at center to Kerry Wilson. Messier really jabbing at Nieuwendyk, who can't keep it in the zone. Museal drills it back in. Charlie Huddy chops at it. Roberts keeps it in. Here's Stern with a chance, and the shot goes wide. Anderson digs after it to Buceo, to Nieuwendyk. Centered in front. Roberts missed it. McKinnis the shot, and that hit Muni. Roberts knocks down Muni. Flames forechecking well now. Roberts turned around. Good defensive play by Craig Simpson, who starts out. Simpson with Messier and Anderson, and that pass missed both of them. Al McKinnis drills the shot high. Roberts knocked the helmet off of Messier. Anderson into the zone with Simpson. Goes through the goal crease. Simpson knocked down. He lost his helmet. Fans react. And Nieuwendyk just missed a check. Here's a 3-on-1. Suter with Nieuwendyk shooting it pure the stop. As he came across and made the save on the short side. Messier after it against Suter. Both overskated and Kite takes over. 8:20 to go, second period, a 1-1 tie. Wilson drops it off. Here's the shot, and that deflects high into the end blues.
Well, once again, Grant Fuhr coming up with an outstanding save. John Muckler looks on. Boy, we've got ourselves another exciting game. Look at this one from the blue line in. On top of the Oiler logo, and a good job. Suter having no place to shoot. Nieuwendyk going to the net. Look at the way Fuhr takes the angle away on Nieuwendyk and moves right across. This is what Grant Fuhr saw. Norm McIver doing a perfect job in playing the 3-on-1. Nieuwendyk trying to go right up top. Fuhr catching it with his glove and steering it to the corner.
Grant Fuhr picking up where he left off in Game 5. John Muckler saying that in that Game 5 performance, he once again looked like the best goalkeeper in the world.
Well, when you look at Game 6 and all the Game 6s that Calgary has played, they're 2-8. In the Game 6s, the series that the Oilers have played, they're 4-4. I don't know what that means, Chris, but we'll see if that changes at the end of this hockey game.
Flames want to change that stat for the better, that's for certain. Doug Gilmour off the draw, back to Natras, and the shot whistled wide. McCowan off the backboard. They try and center it in front. Fuhr goes down, and McIver was able to clear. Tikkanen chops at it, kept in by Natras. Natras with it again. In some traffic, gets it to Fleury. Watched by McIver. They're about even in size, and McIver has him pinned. Helping out is Ranheim, but they hold it long enough for a faceoff. Gilmour against Lamb on this faceoff. Flames have the edge in the second period, 9-5 on the draws. And Tikkanen jumps quick.
Calgary has started to come alive a bit in the last 4 or 5 minutes. They're slow starting. They're looking to pick things up as the second period draws to a close.
Goal seems to have opened a lot of things up. Reichel almost stole one from Klima as the Flames turn it over again, and now Lamb turns. Lamb missed Tikkanen with the pass. It slides down the Calgary zone. McCowan touches it ahead of Klima, and icing's the call. Natras just got it outside the line. Messier back to Charlie Huddy. He clears it in. Messier, Anderson, Simpson. This has been the most effective line in the series so far. Huddy puts it in front, but McCowan is there. Paul Fenton off the boards, out to center. Fleury can't catch up to it. Simpson. Anderson's been shaken up. You see him go to the bench. Messier working against Natras. He'll have to turn back, and Fleury's right there with him. Craig Simpson, the goal scorer for the Oilers. Paul Ranheim has the Flames goal. Joe Murphy into the zone. He's replaced Anderson on this line. And Nieuwendyk starts back ahead to Gary Roberts. Roberts tried to feed Ron Stern, and that was broken up by Smith. James McCowan. Nieuwendyk was loose, but McCowan couldn't get him the pass. Stern, he caused a turnover momentarily, and now Adam Graves has it. Neither team can make any headway. Here's McCowan, straight up the ice and right on. Grant Fuhr will hold on. And Nieuwendyk knocks down Smith after the whistle goes.
Well, Steve Smith and Jeff Bukaboom have been a real tower of strength. In fact, twin towers of strength for the Oilers. Tonight, Bukaboom has Smith have not been hitting quite as much as they had in the past games. Anderson tried to hit Fenton, and watch this, right into the boards. And as Chris mentioned, as Anderson went off the ice, he had to get back to the bench and reassess just where he was hurt after crashing in. We've talked about how taking the body can physically run down another team, but well, you miss once in a while or take the wrong end of a hit, and it doesn't take long before you're shaken up. Playing a physical game as well. Hitting on a regular basis takes its toll on both teams equally.
Edmonton hockey writer Jim Matheson had a great line about Anderson. Trying to hit Anderson is like trying to eat soup with a fork.
Now that's so true. Anderson with a great strength, quickness. He's got super balance and an excellent hockey sense. He's a tough guy to hit at the best of times.
Flames have dominated period number 2. They've outshot the Oilers 10-2. Hunter trying to keep it in, and now out come the Oilers. Murphy with Graves against Buseal. Joe Murphy in, and he just shot that one wide. Oilers have missed some good chances tonight. McInnes leads the rush back for Calgary. At the line, and Reichel was inside, ahead of McInnes and offside.
Well, watch Adam Graves take off on the left of your screen and make this 2-on-1 possible. Joe Murphy taking a look and it's in the old curl and drag after Buseal goes down and just misses the corner by a hair. With Adam Graves going to the net, creating a good scoring opportunity for his line mate Joe Murphy.
Calgary controls this face-off. Gary Suter ahead to Nieuwendyk and offside the call. Ron Stern that time ahead of the play.
Well, Joe Nieuwendyk, who seriously injured his knee last year at the World Championships, rehabilitated it all summer, worked very hard. He wears a knee brace now. He had a tough time getting used to it at the beginning of the season, but right around January, he really started to skate well, and all the conditioning and work that he did in the summer paid off, and that is witnessed as well when you watch the way Nieuwendyk is skating in this series. Very strong and very fast.
Nieuwendyk right on top of Grant Fuhr there, and the other goaltender has to hold on for a face-off. John Muckler said what impresses him so much about Nieuwendyk is the way he anticipates.
Well, Nieuwendyk does anticipate very, very well, but it's not unlike a guy like Anderson and McTavish. When you have great skills, if you anticipate incorrectly, you can recover. Nieuwendyk has all of those attributes. When he guesses right, he's a tough guy to stop. When he guesses wrong, he can still get back into the play and cover his tail after a small error.
5:18 to go in the second period. The shots are 17-9 in favor of the Flames, who have had an edge in the second period. From the face-off, McTavish knocks it to the corner. Nieuwendyk after it again against Huddy, but McTavish is there. Now Mark Land hits center ice and drills it in. Buckberger on this near side, bumped by Suter.
I got it!
McTavish goes down with Roberts, and Suter kicks it free to Ron Stern. Stern moves inside and past Brown. Beats Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk takes a bump from Buckberger, and the puck comes outside the line. Muni takes a look. Buckberger can't reach it. He's belted by Stern. Jim Kite into his own zone. And it goes for Gilmore, and he is rubbed out by Bukaboom. Roberts takes his man out, and Esa Tikkanen starts out. Tikkanen at center, working against Kite. There's the pass for Smith, back to Tikkanen, and he wasn't ready for it. Theron Fleury now trying to break away. There's Fleury at the line. Through to Ranheim, he missed it. And now play whistled down. We've got the net knocked ajar, and Bukaboom is pushing with Fleury.
Well, Bukaboom took Fleury into the net, and Fleury hit him right across the face with his stick. That helmet didn't seem to signal anything. Steve Smith hurt in the same part of the boards where Anderson got shaken up.
That's why the Flames were allowed to break out quickly on the 2-on-1. Get low out to attend to Steve Smith.
Well, one of the things that the Flames have done is they've taken the play deeper into their own end, and that has taken Bukaboom and Smith out of the play as far as taking the body. But when they do get the chance to take the body like Bukaboom did right there, they take that opportunity. Jeff Bukaboom dishing out another solid body check.
You can see the 7 stitches in the right ear of Jeff Bukaboom after that high stick from Ron Stern in Game 5, and Steve Smith a little worse for wear. Heads to the Oiler bench. Stefan Matteau is on the end of the Flames bench. Remember, he went off in the first period. We haven't seen him in the second, but he is on the Flames bench.
Well, you can see the pain in Steve Smith's face. He's just recuperating. You get hurt towards the end of a period, and you just look to get into the dressing room and have the trainer give you a little bit of help. And hopefully by the time that 18-minute break rolls around, you're ready to hit the ice for the final 20 minutes.
Walking down by the dressing rooms before tonight's game, I noticed the smell of liniment is a lot stronger now than it was at the start of the series. A lot of bumps and bruises on both sides. Unfortunately, no injuries that have really affected this series. Muni, his shot goes to the corner. Klima can't handle it. McClory and Tikkanen behind the goal, and now McCowan. Up ahead to Gilmore. Gilmore against Charlie Huddy. Gilmore now across to Ranheim. What a toe save by Fuhr. Puck's loose, and Huddy will cover it long enough for Andy Van Hellemond to blow the whistle. Another glittering save by Grant Fuhr, and Mark Lamb is another Oiler going to the bench, shaken up.
Well, with Mark Lamb injured in the corner, the Flames get another great opportunity to score, and Fleury, watch him come in after Fuhr has made an outstanding save. Tries to get a shot away, and Charlie Huddy jumps on the puck. I was surprised with Andy Van Hellemond right there. And another look, as you see that great toe save. Look at Fleury, a good defensive play by Klima, making sure that Fleury couldn't get a shot away. I'm surprised that Van Hellemond right there didn't assess a penalty to Huddy for covering up on top of the puck right in front of the crease.
Flames win the draw again. 18-9 the shots on goal now. 11-2 in the second period for Calgary. They've tied the score. Ranheim for the Flames. In the first period, it was Simpson for the Oilers. Flames can't keep that in. McInnes now flips it over the glass and into the crowd.
Well, Mark Lamb is still on the Oiler bench after trying to hit James McCowan. McCowan just got out of the way, and Lamb went flying into the boards. He has attempted to dish out some real strong checks and hard-hitting hockey tonight. That one, in missing McCowan, he paid the price, and he's shaken up. James McCowan is lucky that Lamb didn't catch him with that potential body check, or the tables may have been reversed, and McCowan would be going to the room instead of Mark Lamb, and that would affect the second period intermission.
That's right. I noticed that as Lamb went to the dressing room, Grant Fuhr covering up again. Steve Smith was just coming back after receiving some attention, and well, as the hitting starts to increase, so do the tempers.
Well, it's been the exact opposite of Game 5, or Game 4 rather, up here, where the Oilers were slow in the first and Calgary was strong. They died. Calgary here.
McInnes with a shot that deflected off Fuhr and off the post.
Excuse me, Calgary here, slow in the first and now coming on strong.
McTavish clears it in for the Oilers. Up against McInnes. They bump behind Vernon. 2 minutes, 47 seconds to go, second period. Roberts, the rink-wide pass for Stern, and Steve Smith is back on the ice after going off to receive some attention. Joel Otto loses it at center, and Anderson's back out as well. So some bumps and bruises on that Oilers side, but everybody seems okay. We'll wait to see if Mark Lamb returns in this period. Grant Fuhr again taking no chances, and he'll rely on a face-off in the Oilers' zone.
Well, Kerry Wilson was a big story in Game 5 in Calgary, scoring a couple of goals and coming in a trade at the deadline from Mark Hunter. I really like to see the trades that work out well for both teams. Although Hartford is out of the playoffs, Mark Hunter going to the Whalers and scoring 5 playoff goals, I believe. Kerry Wilson contributing in these particular playoffs for the Calgary Flames. And this is all of the rest of the Calgary Flames. Roger Johansson, Sergei Makarov, beside him Priakin, Wayne Cowley, and all the way down, the guy with the big furry face sitting beside Colin Patterson, Lanny McDonald. And Lanny had a bit of a skate this morning with his old team, and he was firing that wrist shot pretty well.
They might suit him up, who's a secret weapon. Steve Smith from the faceoff. Over the line, drops it in, Murphy goes after it, Vernon out of the goal. Wilson for the Flames. And he's sends it out to center past Smith. Speaking of secret weapons, Doug Risebrough joked about bringing a goalie on, perhaps wearing an Oilers sweater this morning in practice. That's an old Bob Johnson trick from way back when. Adam Graves hits the line, takes the shot right on, and Vernon can't cover it. Murphy with the loose puck tries to center. Blocked by Otto. Look at Murphy go after it again, and McCowan has to help out. 1:43 to go in the period. McCowan is dumped at the, but gets it outside the line. Andy Van Hellemond letting them play. Suter out to center and down the ice. Ed Muir goes for a skate. Feeds it ahead to Steve Smith. Gilmore hit by Graves. Jelena puts it back behind the goal. Peter Klima through the goal crease. Oh, he's quick. Gilmore lets it go. McCowan, Klima on him, and a great stick check. Oilers bottling the Flames up momentarily, and now Fleury comes out. Suter joins the play, but Tikkanen sends Fleury back. Under a minute to go, second period, a 1-1 tie at the Northlands Coliseum. McIver touches it, icing the call against Calgary with 52 seconds to go.
Well, Kevin Lowe hasn't seen any action this period. He's been busy boosting the team's morale and opening the door on the left end of the bench. But Lowe, who has been a mainstay for the Edmonton Oilers, for some reason not seeing any action this second period.
He went off early in the game, and we'll try to get a report on Kevin Lowe. See Mark Lamb's back on the bench. The Oilers will miss his experience, at least on the ice. He'll do whatever he can on the bench for them.
Well, at times the right words in a key situation can mean as much as a big play on the ice. And you can rest assured that if that situation arises, Kevin Lowe will be there to issue the key words.
McIver clears it back in. Final minute, second period. Neither team wanting to make a mistake now. Nieuwendyk skates out with Roberts and clears it in. Otto also up there. McInnes moves up on Tikkanen. The puck goes high in the air to Nieuwendyk. Otto clears it back in, and the offside is called. And McInnes has his stick caught up with Esa Tikkanen.
Well, Doug Risebrough said to me at the start of the playoffs that one of the reasons he was really enjoying the playoffs as a coach was the amount of work you can get done. Total focus from everybody on the team is the game at hand and the task at hand, and when you need something completed, everybody seems to understand that when the playoffs roll around and you get things done when they're supposed to be done. So Risebrough coaching in his first playoffs, enjoying the atmosphere and the amount of work that he can get accomplished.
22 seconds to go in period two. Messier and Gilmore on this face-off in the center ice area. Smith takes a whack at it, goes right to Jamie McCowan, who will join Ron McLean in our second intermission. McCowan bumping with Simpson. Gilmore at the blue line, pinned by Simpson, and they get another whistle with 8 seconds to go.
Well, this particular game has had more gloves in the face and pushes and picks after the whistle. Doug Gilmore with a great pick on Calgary's goal to allow Theoren Fleury to get a clear shot away. Gilmore, like Fleury, trying to get his scoring together before this series ends.
Craig Simpson inside the line, and he took a whack at McInnes as the puck cleared down the ice. The Flames tied in the second period and clearly had the edge in play.
Well, one of the great things about the game of hockey is the way momentum can shift in a game, in a period, even within a shift on the ice. We've seen a shift in the momentum from Edmonton to Calgary at the end of this second period. Let's see how it all shakes out when period number 3 begins.
Here we're tied as we get set for the third period. Jim, it's, as you talked about, as we concluded period 2, the momentum has shifted, and the Oilers certainly don't want to go back to Calgary, but they'll have to play better in the third than they did in the second period.
Well, there's no question, and we've said it a couple of times in the game tonight. This game is similar to the game in Game 5 with the teams doing the exact opposite. Calgary starting slow and picking it up. The Oilers starting quick and falling off. It's a great thing for a team to sense that momentum and change the game.
Fleury with the steal right away, and he was cut off. Now Tikkanen starts back with Peter Klima. 2-on-2 against McInnes and Musil, and Klima put on the brakes right before he hit the line. Offside is the call.
Well, Doug Risebrough is looking at the shots. The Edmonton Oilers got that period only 3, but they had 8 scoring opportunities. 3 or 4 times in particular, the Oilers missed the net. Once with Joe Murphy, one that Klima had, another that Messier had. So that's what we're talking about when we say shots don't always correspond with scoring opportunities. And although the Oilers and John Muckler only had the 3 shots, they had a couple of other chances where if they had hit the net, they would have given themselves a much better chance to go ahead in this hockey game.
Doug Gilmour with the game-winning goal in the second game of this series from the face-off. Klima moves in. Passes it across. Lamb, weak shot, rebound. Tikkanen is robbed by Mike Vernon. What a big chance for Esa Tikkanen, and now he gets involved with Darren Fleury.
Well, Al McInnes was on Tikkanen, but not on him quite enough. Fleury going in and putting the glove in Tikkanen's face. And Andy Van Helmen deciding to become the mediator and issuing a penalty to each of the 2 combatants.
Tikkanen leads all goal scorers in the series with 4. Almost had his 5th, and Fleury and Tikkanen go to the penalty box.
Well, Mike Vernon getting tested very early. If Tikkanen can get the puck up, Vernon would have been at his mercy. You see McInnes taking a shot, and right after that, Fleury came in, and the penalties were assessed. We talked about this matchup, and although the Oilers claim that it hasn't been intentional, there certainly is a dislike for the 2 of them between one another. Fleury, you'll see, come back after the skirmish with McInnes right here with a push, and Tikkanen reciprocated with the old glove in the face routine.
The roughing penalties at 26 seconds, just the 3rd and 4th minor penalties of this game. Ranheim around the boards for Gilmour. Now Ranheim after it again and slides it to center. Craig Simpson there. Simpson cross ice for Anderson. Watched by Musil. Anderson still with it. Backhands in front, and Ranheim clears to center again. Oilers have started quickly in this 3rd period. McInnes got crossed up with Vernon. Simpson has it bounce over his stick. Messier forechecking. And now the 89 Conn Smythe Trophy winner Al McInnes clears it down the ice.
I talked with Lanny McDonald in between the 2nd and 3rd period, and he said that it looked like it took 25 seconds for this team to get going. Well, Al Coates between Paul Baxter and Cliff Fletcher, and Al Coates is the Flames' answer to the Pete Rose look-alike contest. As I was saying, I was talking with Lanny McDonald, and he said the team took 25 minutes, it seemed, to get their nerves together at the start of this game, but he's happy with the way they're playing right now. The Oilers coming out with the same kind of pressure they had in the 1st period.
Jamie McCowan right in front of his own net. There's a collision between Natras and Brown. Smith shaken up in the 2nd period, back on the ice. Here's Roberts inside the line. Roberts still on his feet, the backhand right on, and Roberts goes to the net. Oilers start back. Smith just missed a hit as Stern went down in a heap. Buckberger clears it in. Brown after it with Muni. Buckberger has it hop over his stick. McTavish goes after it for the Oilers. Against Stern, kept in by Smith. Smith gives off. Buckberger fans on it, and now Roberts sends away Nieuwendyk. Stern catching up on the play. Ronnie Stern with the shot. Fuhr made the save. Nieuwendyk held up by Smith. Stern against Muni. Down goes Stern, and Brown feeds it ahead to Buckberger. It's been a good line for the Oilers tonight. McTavish, Buckberger, and Brown. Vernon plays the puck ahead to Kite, and Jelena just missed Kite with a hit. Jelena's played a physical role as well. Turning with it now, the speedy Joe Murphy to the line. Murphy's shot blocked by Natras. Murphy after it again. Graves is in front. Huddy at the point. There's the shot through traffic, and it hit Natras. Puck kept in by McIver. Graves with the shot right on. Jelena after the rebound. Hit by Natras. Robert Reichel loses to Jelena, who couldn't get his balance. A couple of close calls in front of that Flames net here early in the 3rd period. Jelena back again. Martin Jelena into the zone, shoots, and Vernon with the save, rebound, knocked wide. Reichel Clearing it away. Shelton back into the corner. Mike Vernon with a big stop. Lost the rebound. And the Flames on their heels right now. Icing the call. Here's Jeff Bukaboom, the shot. And I think Vernon got a piece of that. Smith on the other side. And that's deflected high into the crowd. Oilers have come out and put plenty of pressure on Mike Vernon here in this third period.
Well, one of the really difficult things to do for a goalie is to have a slack period as far as shots go and then get faced with a barrage at the beginning of the next period after you've had an additional layoff in the intermission. Mike Vernon being very, very sharp at the start of this period where Calgary could find themselves fighting from behind once again.
Face off in the Calgary zone and Musil is up with it. Mark Lamb back on the ice with Klima and Tikkanen. That's Lamb and Musil in the corner. Klima rides his man, and they hold it long enough for another face-off.
Well, Chris, you talked about Grant Fuhr's .911 save percentage. Mike Vernon is at .894, and the difference between those two numbers is about the difference between these two teams, and that's what's made this such a great series to this point.
The men behind the mask will play key roles now. They haven't already. Here's Paul Ranheim, a break from center. Ranheim against Fuhr, and what a stop!
Well, 17,000 people can analyze this breakaway. Ranheim with tremendous speed is not going to be caught. He's in great position covering his point, and he senses that that puck is going loose, and away he goes. He's got a breakaway from center in. And Grant Fuhr, we talked about the vacuum in his glove, and it's no surprise that that's where the puck goes. Ranheim going with a great wrist shot against an equally great Fuhr glove, and the glove wins out. If you're going to go to Grant Fuhr's glove, it has to be right to the roof. Ranheim with a good shot, but not good enough to beat Grant Fuhr.
John Muckler said he never does anything to put you out of a game, and he's kept the Oilers right in this one. Al McInnes, his shot deflects high over the glass and out of play. 3:51 gone in this third period. McInnes had 3 shots on Grant Fuhr in the second period. He's had 4 in the game.
Well, McInnes has got that tremendous shot, and over the years, his shot seems to keep getting better and better. I guess as he gets stronger and more fluid, I can't believe the way he has shot the puck this year. The puck just seems to jump off his stick. Paul Ranheim has got an equally good wrist shot off of his stick. And one thing that Ranheim does very, very well, as you saw on that breakaway, is he gets the pat on the back from Guy Chiron, because he shoots the puck on the fly really well. He can come in off of either wing and with his feet moving disguise that release, and that has netted him a fair number of goals in his career.
Otto wins this face-off. Musil put it towards the net. Fleury has it, working against McIver, who has him tied up. Gilmore to Fleury. Gilmore gives chase. Otto causing havoc in front of the net. Fleury right on. On McIver with it. Flames trying to bottle the Oilers up. McInnes on Messier, and now it comes down the ice. Shots are even at 4 apiece in this third period. At center. Clears it back in. Vernon will leave it for Musil. Simpson forechecking. Around the board, kept in by McIver. Cut off by Otto. And it's out at center ice. Doug Gilmore with it. Rink wide it goes. Nieuwendyke's just come on. Nieuwendyke shot off the ankle of McIver. Gilmore other side. His shot blocked by Anderson. Jamie McCowan at center. Aaron Fleury turns. Here's Gilmore. And it's called. Andy Van Helleman, I believe, is calling a penalty, and perhaps 2 with 15:01 remaining in the third.
Aaron Fleury gets 2 minutes for slashing. Glenn Anderson, his counterpart on this particular duel, gets 2 minutes for cross-checking. And as we've said before, these teams used to play a lot of 4-on-4. With the number of coincidental minors, that was fairly regular, but since 1985-86 season, that rule changed. and the play continues 5-on-5 because of it.
Fleury's second minor penalty in the first 5 minutes of this third period. Both coincidental. Here around the boards. And out to center ice. Brown gives chase. Suter got there first. Muni bumps with Nieuwendyk. Buchberger had to slow up because Brown was trapped inside the line. Now Suter works it out for the Flames. Nieuwendyk, Stern, and Roberts up front. Oilers counter with McTavish, Buchberger, and Brown as play is whistled down. 14:23 in the third.
Well, sometimes one step can make all the difference. Gary Suter lugging the puck 90 feet, and if he would have taken another step to get the red line, this wouldn't have been icing. You see Suter cross the blue line. The reason for this is because Kelly Buchberger is putting good pressure on him. If Buchberger isn't there, Suter gets the line, and Calgary has a chance in the Oilers zone, or at least a chance to forecheck. So you look at both sides of that. Suter should have probably banked it off the boards, but some credit as well goes to Buchberger for pressuring Suter in order for him to let go of the puck.
Speaking of defensemen, we have yet to see Kevin Lowe in this third period. Did not see him in the second. He is on the bench. And although the Oilers aren't saying there is speculation, he has re-injured a problem ankle that kept him out of 7 games late in the season. Murphy in front, Graves with a shot wide. Jelena, who's played a robust game so far, takes his man to the boards. Wilson still watching Jelena, and now Perry Wilson backhands it down the ice, and this too could be icing. Smith back to touch it.
Well, Kevin Lowe giving some encouragement to a teammate down the bench. He's not seen any action, as Chris mentioned, the tendonitis in his ankle, and Stefan Matteau as well has not been on the ice since he came off early in the first period.
Graves and Otto on this face-off, and the Flames win it. McCown trying to get it ahead to Hunter. It's Joe Murphy behind the goal. Murphy, Jelena, and Graves. The kid line has had their moments in this game, but now it's McCown. Starting out, Steve Smith knocks him down. Greg Muni at center, past Murphy, and it's Natras at his own blue line. Good lead pass. Wilson takes a bump from Muni. Buick gives off to Murphy. Hunter rides Murphy off the play. And McInnes goes into his own zone. Jelena right behind him. And play's been whistled down. And Andy Van Hellemond is going to send 2 more off.
Well, Adam Graves pulled Musil's helmet up. Musil cross-checked him back. And Van Hellemond once again giving coincidental minors, trying to make sure that this doesn't get out of hand, but at the same time not wanting to give either team an advantage with a power play at this time in the game. This is what Andy saw, and you can decide how you would have called it. Graves with the old Muhammad Ali hand on the back of the neck. Musil reciprocating with a couple of gloves in the face, and Graves looking like he was a raccoon caught in the garbage can. Van Hellemond assessing the penalties.
Both off for roughing at 6:40. And Hellemond will be very leery about giving any power play opportunities unless it is a flagrant foul. Here's a shot right off the face-off. Vernon stopped Huddy. Doug Gilmour against Messier. Messier got the stick up, and Gilmour took a swipe at the Oiler captain. Messier picks up his stick. And now Gilmour has it again. Messier right on him. Klima turns it over. Wrist shot. Messier rebound. And Mike Vernon robbed Messier. Vernon wasn't sure he had it. He looked into the net.
Well, I always laugh. People say guy's not confident when he looks in the net. If I was wondering if the puck was getting by me, that's the first place I'd look. I thought Vernon caught that with the backhand. Watch Messier sharking around the net, circling, looking for an opportunity, screening Vernon. The shot comes through, and Vernon goes down right off the blocker. Look at that. And Vernon with his hand over, Messier politely putting the puck right into Vernon's glove. And here is the exchange. You see the pain on Gilmour's face, and after the puck disappears, Gilmour rather slaps Messier in the face, lays the gauntlet down.
And Messier put that in. He would have tied Jean Beliveau for 5th place on the all-time goal-scoring list. He's at 78. The great number 4 at 79 goals. Otto beats Lamb on that face-off. Gary Suter around the boards. Look at Huddy pinch in, but it's Otto out for the Flames. Joel Otto with Wilson and Suter. Otto tries to put it in front, still with it. Watched by Klima. Wilson tries to pick up the loose puck. Huddy knocked Paul Fenton right into the goal. And here comes a penalty. And the Calgary Flames will go on the power play. Charlie Huddy's going to the penalty box.
Well, we've talked about momentum, and we've talked about realizing when there's an opportunity to gain an advantage with that momentum changing, and this clearly is an opportunity for the Flames. Watch Charlie Huddy right there. Jam Paul Fenton straight into the net. Van Helmen with no hesitation at all issued the penalty, and Calgary now has a chance to go ahead with a power play marker. They squandered a 5-minute power play because of some great penalty killing by the Oilers. The Oilers look at this in a similar vein. If they can kill this penalty and gain some momentum from it, there's a pretty good chance that they will have a power play before this game ends.
We're going to take a different look at the power play from our camera underneath the score clock, our Panavision camera run by Brian Rishog. So you'll get a whole look at the ice surface from right over top. Gary Suter underneath the camera, clears it in. Robert Reichel, Joe Nieuwendyk, Theron Fleury, McInnes, and here's a race for it. McInnes knocks down Messier and the crowd responds. Messier and Lamb, the penalty killers. Here comes McInnes. Pass left wing. Reichel almost lost it to Tikin, and what a turnover that would have been. McInnes to Suter. Down low to Fleury and hopped over his stick to Reichel. Now McInnes can't keep it in. Delayed offside, but the Oilers clear it down.
Well, the Oilers being very aggressive on this penalty kill and doing a great job in throwing the Flames off. The Flames have yet to set up their power play.
New penalty killing unit is on. Craig McTavish comes out with Mark Messier. Here's Gilmore. Messier went to the bench, then came back on, and now Messier has the puck. Watched by Suter, but he gets it out. 40 seconds left in the power play. Steve Smith is tied up by Otto. Again, the Oilers get it to center. Messier steams after it. And it's chopped over the glass and out of play. 28 seconds to go. And this Oiler penalty killing is dominating. Nieuwendyk, Fleury, and Reichel in the dying seconds of this power play. Remember, a big turning point in Game 4 was a 5-minute advantage, which the Oilers killed, and this may go against the Flames unless they make something happen here. Boom has it, can't clear it. Suter puts it right back in. Nieuwendyk as Huddy returns to the ice. Oilers have killed it. Natras keeps it in. Nieuwendyk against Boom. There's a matchup we've been interested in through the series. The two cousins, it's the Oiler cousin that comes up with it. Boom at center, dumps it in. Huddy forechecking. Jamie McCowan for the Flames. Watch out, Messier stolen, what a save by Vernon. Oh, where did Messier come from and how did Vernon keep it out of the net? Finally, play is whistled down. Mark Messier almost stole one.
Well, look at the giveaway that James McCowan got stuck with. And Vernon, real sharp. Messier comes in out of nowhere. Vernon with his left hand manages to get his hand on the puck. And then I thought Vernon did something really clever. He had the puck and there was nobody around him. He kept putting it down until he finally got a face-off to calm his team down after a giveaway that could have put the Oilers ahead.
That's twice in this third period that Jamie McCowan has come right out in front of Mike Vernon. And I wouldn't expect we'll see it 3 times.
Well, and Mike Vernon is hoping that we don't see it a 3rd time.
McTavish against Otto. Scrum in the circle. Oilers come up with it. Dave Brown circles, tries to put it in front, and it's cleared. McIver back, and icing's the call. The shot's 25-18, 8-5 in favor of the Oilers in the 3rd period.
Well, Norm McIver's kind of an interesting story. the original intent was to have him be a key on the power play, and the other power play hasn't been great, but a guy who is generally expected to do that at times is weak defensively. And when you talk to the Oiler coaching staff, you hear how they rave about McIver, particularly his play against Messier. He's been on in some big plays and keeping Joe Nieuwendyk off the scoreboard at various times. So a guy who has some offensive capability comes up big in defensive situations, and that adds up to a positive defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers.
Still 3-0 for the Minnesota North Stars over Chicago in the third period, and Ron McLean and Don Cherry are watching that one for you as the shocker in the Norris Division semifinal continues. McIver up to Graves. Oilers skating much better in this third period. Murphy to Jelena over his stick, and back comes Robert Reichel at the line, and he put the brakes on, saw Jeff Bukaboom coming, and offside was the call. And Jim, the Flames have played 110 minutes, 39 seconds of third period action in this series, and they have one empty net goal to show for it. They'll have to score here, or in overtime perhaps, to force a seventh game. Doug Gilmour at the line, trying to get around Bukaboom, but the other twin tower came across. Steve Smith around the boards. Simpson dumps it at center, and neither team going to take many chances now. There's McCowan. He's wary of Messier, and it's called on the offside. Craig Simpson and Paul Ranheim, the goal scorers. McCowan, his shot blocked by Anderson, trying to break away, but Andrews gets there first, and now Otto turns with Fenton and Hunter. Tim Hunter banned on the shot. It rolled weakly wide. Messier trying to wind up. Ahead it goes to Anderson. How many big goals has he scored in his career? Simpson shooting, and that just missed as Simpson goes into Vernon. Anderson again. Can't get it by Natras. Steve Smith to Simpson with room. Back it comes to Bukaboom. There's the shot knocked down in front by McCowan. Joel Otto flips to center. Good sequence there for the Oilers. Now Lamb comes over the boards with Tikkanen and Klima. Vernon around the boards. McCowan against Tikkanen. They jam away. Lamb tries to dig it out, and now McCowan has it for Calgary. Ron Stern, rink wide, a stride too far for Roberts. It slides into the zone, and Muni touches it. Another icing call against the Flames, having trouble getting untracked in this third period. On this draw, Lamb and Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk down, and the Oilers win it. Charlie Huddy, the shot right on. Rebound, Vernon has to come out and clear, and we've got a penalty coming up. Esa Tikkanen was belted right in front of the net, and it's Al MacInnis, I believe, going up.
Well, Al MacInnis will sit down with a 2-minute hooking penalty. 4 minutes ago, we talked about the Oilers getting a penalty and that this would happen. This is the replay. MacInnis with his stick on Tikkanen, Tikkanen going down. And as we said, generally those things get evened up. The Oilers now have their opportunity to score. Calgary has an opportunity to gain the momentum with a great kill.
We'll watch it from our eye in the sky once again.
Well, the Oilers took the momentum on the last Calgary power play with some superb penalty killing. The Flames now would like to regain that with the same type of penalty killing that they saw against their power play 4 minutes ago.
Glenn Anderson to the line with Messier and Simpson. Around the boards to Tikkanen at the point. McIver, the other point man. Gary Suter with the steal. Tikkanen gloved it down, and they call it offside as Otto rubs Tikkanen into the glass, and you saw that elbow sneak in.
Well, there's times where you can do a little bit extra and get away with it. But if you don't get away with it in this situation, you'll remember it for a long, long time. Craig Simpson pleading the case with Van Helmen that Andy will have none of it, and the play will continue. A pretty impressive catch by Tikkanen. A nice fair catch as Tikkanen pulls it right down. Joel Otto going a little bit outside the rules, but in this particular game, it seems to be expected. No penalty is called, and the Oiler power play continues with a minute and a half remaining in it.
7:07 to go in the third period. Inside the line, Simpson. Anderson tied up. Puck's loose and McCowan just swats at it and gets it to center. McIver chased back by Ranheim. The other penalty killer's Gilmore. Here comes Messier. Over it comes to McIver. Glenn Anderson puts it in front. Gary Suter knocks it down the ice.
Well, an alert Calgary Flames bench. Doug Gilmore had broken his stick on Mark Messier. By the time Gilmore got back to the bench, trainer Alan Murray had a stick ready for him to get back into the play.
Anderson with 50 seconds to go in the penalty. Here he comes again. Shot. Didn't have much on it, and Natras blocked it. Natras can't get it by McIver. Puts it in front. Messier in the corner. Simpson's in front. So is Anderson. Simpson, one-timer, and he didn't get much on it. McIver back behind for Messier again, the quarterback of the power play. Musil watching him. Puck's loose. Simpson keeps it alive for the Oilers. Cross ice. McIver right on. Norm McIver robbed by Vernon. McIver looking for his first playoff point. Fenton. McIver knocked down. Fenton with the glove on it, and he throws it down the ice. And the crowd reacts, and the Oiler bench is enraged. And they've killed the penalty. The Flames are back at full strength. Here's Gary Suter on the move with Fleury. Suter in front. Fleury is knocked down. And the Oilers this time send it down the ice. McCowan will go back to touch it. And the Flames weather the storm. Fleury and McTavish, the 14s in on this faceoff. And the Oilers win control. It's Graves breaking out with Murphy. Joe Murphy to the line against McInnes. Graves in after the puck first. Leaves it for Jelinek. He's been dangerous tonight. Fleury has it. Tripped up in front of his goal, but gets it ahead. Gilmore with under 5 left in regulation time. Grant Fuhr. Joe Murphy up to Graves. Fleury's back. Gilmore against Graves. Wilson stepping in. But it's Bukaboom for the Oilers. Back in 1984, they went to overtime in Game 6, and a guy by the name of McDonald got the winner, forcing a 7th game. Bukaboom has his man wrapped up. And the puck flipped to center. They better be careful. Klima skating in the neutral zone. Rick Natras has it. Off the boards up to Roberts. He's watched by Lamb. Cross ice pass for Tikkanen and Klima. Into the zone it goes, and Vernon goes for a skate. Ron Stearns on the ice now with Nieuwendyk. Puck gets by Huddy. Under 4 minutes to go now. Tikkanen forechecking McCowan. There's Natras against Lamb. Flames trying to get it out, and now they succeed. And if Roberts could handle the bouncing puck, they might have had a break. Charlie Huddy behind his goal. Reichel looks for a loose puck. Roberts knocks Tikkanen down. Under 3.5 minutes to go. McInnes trying to pull away from Anderson. Ahead to Roberts. Joel Otto at center. Checked by Simpson. Here's Messier. He's loose. Right on. Vernon with the save. At center. Don't want to give the Oiler captain that much room with such little time to go. Jamie McCowan wraps it around the glass past Bukaboom. Gary Roberts, rink wide to Reichel. Robert Reichel around Jelinek. In front, Fuhr goes down. And the puck comes outside the line. Under 3 to go. Martin Jelinek. Bukaboom and Roberts were going at it behind the net, and the fans react. Rick Natras ahead to Gilmore. Doug Gilmore to Ranheim and Fleury. Here's Gilmore shooting. Fuhr the stop. Fleury in the corner. Ranheim's in front. Gilmore in the corner. Tikkanen hit by Ranheim. And now it's McIver. And the puck slides outside the line. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the third. Frantic action and a 1-1 tie. Mark Lamb. Doug Gilmour flips it to center. Whoever scores now will be headline news tomorrow. Esa Tikkanen. Watched by McCowan. In behind the goal, Klima centers it, and it's knocked away. Klima again. Gary Suter and Vernon holds it at the side of the net. 1:46 to go. 26-21, the shots on goal favoring the Flames. John Muckler said game 4, the fourth win, is the toughest. We'd now like to welcome viewers of the Los Angeles-Vancouver game to the Northlands Coliseum. Tied at 1 with 1:46 left in the third. Otto and Messier on the faceoff. Both teams have had chances in this third period. Otto is down, and he gets it to McInnes. Flames do not have a third period goal in the series, but for an empty netter by Nieuwendyk in game 5. Offside the call with 1:33 to go.
Well, Glenn Anderson has scored a big overtime goal against the Calgary Flames before. And if you had to pick somebody to do it, this is a great guy to put your wager on. He's got, as I've said a number of times, tremendous speed, great skill, and he can find his way to the net sometime. In the most difficult of situations, Paul Ranheim, the Calgary goal scorer tonight. He's had a couple of other close calls. Grant Fuhr has stopped them.
Robbed on a clear-cut breakaway by Grant Fuhr. There's the Edmonton goal scorer, Craig Simpson. Musil at center ice. Flips it in. A lot of things happening away from the puck now. Just a moment ago, Stern and Simpson were tied up. Here comes Messier. Anderson in full flight. Shot is blocked. Pass across. Charlie Huddy. Anderson whacked at it, cleared to the corner. Messier forechecking, puts it in front. Puck is loose. McInnes has a man tied up. Messier hauled down, and Musil's going off with 1:04 to play.
Well, Doug Risebrough won't be happy with this call, and it's a gutsy one by Van Helmen. But what Van Helmen has done tonight is if a scoring opportunity has not been involved in the infraction, and the infraction in his estimation has not been too severe, he hasn't called a penalty. Terry Crisp obviously looking at that and saying, uh-oh, let's pull up the bootstraps. Here's the replay. Messier getting hooked down by Musil. Had Musil not hooked him down, Messier would have had an opportunity with a shot on net.
Musil in the penalty box, and John Muckler calling timeout. With 1:04 to go in the third, the Oilers get their third power play opportunity of the game, and they're 0 for 2. There's our overhead camera as we get set for this Oiler power play. Messier will take the faceoff. Anderson and Simpson up front, Tikkanen and McIver on the points. And I think that timeout by John Muckler was really just to give that big line of the Oilers a rest, because they were out there when the penalty was called. From the draw, McInnes, banned on the clearing chance. Under a minute to go. Tikkanen at the point. Nieuwendyk with the steal, and now Nieuwendyk in a foot race. McIver gets there first. Joe Nieuwendyk can be very dangerous. He scored 2 shorthanded goals in one game against Winnipeg this year, one with the Flames 2 men short. Oilers clear it in. McInnes can't handle it, but Gilmour gets it out. 35 seconds remaining. McIver off the board, Simpson. Loose puck, Otto after it, and Joe Murphy gets there first. Murphy, the hero in game number 4. Esa Tikkanen, there's the shot. Murphy in the corner, hands off to Messier. Simpson's out front. Here's McIver falling down on the play, and McInnes slowly out to center. There's the long shot, 6 seconds to go, and a penalty coming up, and this one's going to the Oilers with 3 seconds left. Simpson's down and shaken up, but Andy Van Helmen is calling the penalty against the Oilers. Three seconds left, and it looks like we're going to overtime. Otto went to the box, now he's headed to the dressing room, and Simpson is going to the room for attention as well. I think Simpson and Otto will both get penalties.
Well, Van Helmen had his hand up on the play well before Simpson and Otto ever collided. So unless Simpson got the original penalty when Al McInnes was dumping the puck in, can't imagine that penalties aren't even.
2 minutes for elbow. For the Oilers, number 18, Craig Simpson, 2 minutes for hooking. The time, 19 minutes, 50 seconds.
Well, that's the call. Simpson had the hook before that. After Otto ran into him, Van Helmond decided to even the penalties.
Costly penalty to Otto because the Flames would have ended up with a short power play in overtime. Unless, of course, we have a goal in the final 3 seconds, and just about anything is possible in this series. Nieuwendyk against McTavish on this faceoff. The Oilers control, and for the first time in this series, we're headed to overtime.
Well, this series has had everything except overtime, and it only seems right that with the kind of hockey we've seen and the small difference that has separated these two teams over 6 games, that we decide whether we go to a 7th with an extra period. We're going to see that, and it's going to be great.
Gilmore and the Flames hoping to repeat 1984 when the Flames won Game 6 in overtime to force a 7th. Mike Vernon hoping that it's not a repeat of last year when they lost Game 6 in LA against the Kings when Mike Krushelnyski scored in overtime. Both these gentlemen have been brilliant tonight.
Oh, there's no question that this game would have been over. Well, it may not have been over, but the score would have been a lot higher going into overtime. Some unbelievable saves at both ends of the rink, and at crucial times, not when the game wasn't on the line. These guys have, both Vernon and Fuhr, have come up big at big times in the hockey game.
Jim, we start the 3rd period, and again, the Oilers still on the power play for 56 seconds. Simpson and Otto are in the box, but Musil is as well. There's Craig Simpson. But it's the Musil penalty that the Flames are still trying to kill. They win the faceoff. McInnes has trouble clearing it. Messier, Anderson, Klima, Smith, and Tikkanen. Wilson and Gilmore, the penalty killers. Abinada's shorthanded goal in this series. Wouldn't that be something? Steve Smith, cross ice to Messier. In the middle, broken up, and Gilmore comes down with it. Gilmore, hooked by Messier. Puck caught up in Gilmore's sweater. 27 seconds left in the Flames. Penalty to Frank Musil.
Well, Doug Gilmore has been in a lot of close matches. I remember playing against him in 1986 when he was with the St. Louis Blues, and this guy is a competitor. Look at him jumping into the hole, trying to get the break. Messier with a bit of a tug on him. Gilmore electing to go down and hoping that Van Helmond would call a penalty. No such luck.
Speaking of which, Game 6 in that series in '86, Gilmore with the Blues, and it was Doug Wickenheiser, wasn't it? Winning in overtime to force the 7th game.
That's exactly right. You have a great memory.
That was quite a night in St. Louis. Gilmore against Messier.
The little things in the game become so important that one face-off can end up killing the penalty, or, as we saw there, giving you a scoring opportunity.
Could have been a big part of the game there as Gilmore won it cleanly from Messier. 15 seconds left in the Oiler power play. Haven't been able to generate anything yet. Here they come. They're stopped by McCowan. Musil standing in the box with 5 seconds left. Steve Smith. Watched by Roberts. Messier. Anderson. Shot, and it's wide. Smith pinching up. Anderson knocked down. Vernon leads it for McCowan. Flames at full strength. Musil heads to the bench. Now Ron Stern out at center ice. Nieuwendyk gliding at the red line too. There's Joe Murphy with the steal. Roberts intercepts the pass with Nieuwendyk. Here come the Flames. It's Gary Roberts. Back to McCowan. Shot. Rebound. Puck is loose. Roberts looking for it. What a scrum. And Fuhr finds it and holds on.
Boy, from up here looking at that scrum on the ice, it had the appearance of a whole bunch of people in the pool and a synchronized swimming duel. Take a look at the scramble. McCowan getting the puck on the net, which is the important thing. You're not trying to be fancy in overtime. Fuhr, with great position, gets a piece of it. And look at how long it sits here. Muni thinks about putting his hand on it. Nieuwendyk tries to get a stick on it. And the puck is finally frozen right there.
Grant Fuhr found it just in time with Ron Stern looking for it. Anxious time for everybody involved.
These two teams in overtime against each other are 2-2. So this is the rubber match. The rubber match has a fair amount of significance, either ending this series or taking it 200 miles south to Calgary.
We saw Lanny McDonald's goal in Game 6 in '84, Kerry Wilson Game 2 in that same series. For the Oilers in overtime against the Flames, Gretzky Game 2 of that '88 sweep, and Glenn Anderson in Game 2 of 1986. Nieuwendyk, Stern, and Reichel. Lucille can't keep it in. Klima, Lamb, and Tikkanen for the Oilers.
Mark Lamb doing a great job on Ronnie Stern. Stern was looking to lay the body on Muni. Lamb got in his way and held Stern up.
Al McInnes, rink wide for Stern, too far, right in on Fuhr. Robert Reichel centers it. It goes to Klima, the hero of Game 1 in last year's Stanley Cup Final. That one took 55 minutes and 13 seconds of overtime. Lucille at his own line. Gets it ahead. Robert Reichel can't take the pass, and it's Bukaboom to Tikkanen with some room. Esa Tikkanen, and a shot deflects high over the glass.
Well, you know that the Oilers will be close on Al McInnes whenever the puck is on their side of their own blue line. McInnes with a great shot, obviously, and if he has a chance to put it on the net, the likelihood of it going in with the way he scored goals this year in the regular season is a lot higher than if one of his partners gets the puck.
Al McInnes didn't have an overtime goal this year, but another defenseman, Rick Natras, as Ron McLean mentioned, did, a winner against Montreal. 2:26 gone in the fourth period of this one.
But depending on how long an overtime period goes or a series like this goes, you start to really rely on the work that you've done the past summer as far as your conditioning. Over an entire season, your conditioning actually drops off. It's important to have a real good base when you start the season and you get into series and games like this.
I mentioned earlier, Joe Murphy had 2 series winners last year. One against LA, one against Chicago, and Murphy's on the ice now. Jelena knocked down and another whistle. Murphy scored a goal that in effect was in overtime.
Well, with 14 seconds left, when you can hammer one in and put your team up by 1, it's the same thing, guys. Earn reputations in scoring big goals, and Joe Murphy has done that since he's come to the Edmonton Oilers. The crowd's starting to go with a bit of a wave here.
Murphy, the hero of Game 3. Gilmore, the winner in Game 2. Everybody on the ice looking for the winner in Game 6. Flames control from the faceoff. Wilson, Gilmore, Fenton, Jelena, Murphy, Graves. That's the matchup right now. Murphy hit by McCowan. Fenton looks for the loose puck. Graves has it. Over the glass and out of play. And they'll bring the faceoff outside the zone.
Well, Jelena has been a big part of the kid line tonight. I want to talk about a young guy. He's the only guy in the Oiler book that has his midget stats in the press book.
He had an overtime goal against the Flames last year and a game-tying goal. So he's had some big ones against Calgary.
Well, you talk about pursuit on the puck, and Muckler has to be happy with the way the kid line chases down the opposition. Whenever the player has the puck, they get on and lay the body on him. They also have pretty good response defensively in the opposing end of the rink. That's something nice to have when you're in an overtime period.
Now it's Messier, Simpson, and Anderson. Their first shift together in the overtime since Simpson started the period in the penalty box. Jamie McCowan pinches up. Otto is up front, along with Ranheim and Fleury. Suter keeps it in. Messier kicks it free. Here's a 2-on-1. Simpson and Anderson. And Simpson lost the puck. McCowan turns back. Joel Otto at center. Ranheim breaking, so's McCowan. Ranheim shooting, and Fuhr made a save. Rebound, Otto in front. Fuhr down, and he holds on.
Well, as so often happens, the first team to get a great scoring opportunity gets thwarted on it. Craig Simpson having to come a long way back after McCowan intercepted the pass on the 2-on-1. Take a look at this all the way from the blue line. Simpson decides to suit a perfect defensive play by McCowan. Not only does he stop the 2-on-1, but if you follow this the whole way down the ice, you'll see that McCowan finishes his job at the Oiler goal line. There's McCowan right there going through the right side of your screen, and then he's back to assume his position on the blue line.
Jamie McCowan with the big play on Craig Simpson. Simpson had 6 assists in this series and a goal tonight, 1 of 2 in the series. Flames control the faceoff. McInnes clears it behind the net. There's Ron Stern, Nieuwendyk, Roberts, and oh, what a stop by Fuhr! Gary Roberts from the slot.
Well, Fuhr had to be so quick on that. Nieuwendyk laid a perfect pass out, and in one motion, Roberts one-timed it. Fuhr was unconscious in getting his blocker up.
McTavish, Don Cherry's pick to score in overtime, has it now. Slides it in on Vernon. Nieuwendyk chops at it, and it comes out to center. Roberts is there. Cross ice pass to Stern. McInnes out. Stern shot right on. Musil touches it, and offsides the call.
Well, that was an alert call by linesman Mark Vines. He was right up on the play, and when Natras corralled that puck, Vines with a good eye realized it was half a dozen inches outside the blue line. Gary Roberts with a great scoring opportunity, and if you thought that Grant Fuhr's glove hand had a magnet in it, I'm not sure he doesn't have the same apparatus in his blocker. Nieuwendyk with a perfect pass. Look at this, and Roberts in one motion, boom. A great save, picture-perfect goaltending. Where are you going to shoot on Grant Fuhr to score a goal?
31 saves for Fuhr. He made 34 in Game 5. And no wonder the Conn Smythe Trophy winner from a year ago hasn't got in the series yet. Gilmore, Fleury, and Wilson, Messier, Tikkanen, and Klima. Although Messier out for face-off duties, I would think. Messier gives it away. Here's Fleury looking for his first goal of the series. Scores! And Theoren Fleury and the Flames are in 7th heaven.
Well, with only 4 minutes and 40 seconds gone in overtime, Fleury picks off. Messier's pass goes in all alone, and I believe he went 5-hole on Fuhr. Look at Fleury coming up the middle. He reads the play, and because McCowan is in front of Messier, he can't see. He makes a move to his right and goes right along the ice. Look at this celebration. Fleury must have watched Tiger Williams score an overtime goal when he was with the Vancouver Canucks. Not only does he finish, but he does a full 360. And then the half pike along the boards. Fleury embraced by Nieuwendyk. Here's another look at the way Grant Fuhr saw it. Look at Fleury, keeps his feet moving the whole time until the very end. And just as Fuhr is going down at the last second, Fleury with those great hands flips it between his legs, and you're going to see a few smiles on some red jerseys, starting with Rick Walmsley going into the Flames dressing room.
Theoren Fleury scored 51 during the regular season, but it's his first of the playoffs that's the biggest one of all. Mike Vernon and the Flames celebrating a win, and I don't think anybody can question Vernon's goaltending anymore. He's played a big role in this series, being even at 3 apiece.